M1 reliability problems. Debates about whether or not our current service rifle is good enough are not new. It seems when a rifle reaches legendary status, said rifle is deemed infallible. Let's take an old classic. Consider this article published in Time magazine from 1941. The test. Until lately, the Marine Standard Rifle was the 38-year-old war-tested Springfield, which was also the Army's rifle until 1936. Since the Army adopted the Garand, the Marine Corps has been under pressure to do the same. The Army last week had about as many Springfields as Garands in service, but was substituting Garands as fast as production permitted. After boiling down results of all the tests for accuracy, ruggedness, general fitness for combat, the board rated the rifles as first the Springfield, followed by the Garand, and then the Johnson and the Winchester. Best that the board could say for the Garand was that it was, quote, superior to the other semi-automatic rifles, unquote. Superior in the number of well-aimed shots that can be fired per minute, and it could be cleaned quickly in the field. However, the sub and substance of the findings was that the Garand was only a fair weather rifle. Sure, excellent on the practice range, but far from good enough for the Marines when the going got tough. And the going in these tests were very tough. Some examples. The rifles were doused in mud of, quote, light consistency. The results? The M1903 Springfield rifle can still be operated. However, the bolt did become a little more difficult to operate as the test progressed. The M1s would not function, and the longer an attempt was made to operate the bolt by hand, the harder it became to open. The board assumed that troops have landed through light surf, as Marines must often do, and that rifles were dropped and dragged over wet sand and reaching cover on the beach. The rifles were exposed to a saltwater spray. The result, the Springfields fired, quote, in the normal manner, unquote. However, the bolts on the Garands could not be opened by hand after the first and second shots, respectively. Both of the Garand rifles failed the test. All of the rifles received a thorough dousing of fresh water. The assumption was that they might get doused from heavy rain or spray of water on a beach situation. The results, Garands failed those tests as well. One of the toughest tests was for endurance in prolonged firing, 9,000 to 10,000 rounds. On overall efficiency and ruggedness, the Springfield was rated ahead of the Garand, which was second. On comparative accuracy, at the end of those 9,000 rounds, the Garand rated last of the four rifles tested. The Springfield, once again, was first. I cite this just as an example of, yet again, another famed rifle that, upon initial implementation, wasn't so awesome, and it was only after it was fielded and debugged that it finally earned a deserved reputation as a great service rifle.